All right. So this is my final match. You can see the astute viewer would notice that MMF has been watching me. And the reason why is because I'm holding up his match, and I have been this entire time. So I apologize directly to MMF. I love you.
I'm sure they were really happy about that.
Yeah. He had some pretty funny stuff to say in the Discord. He said, I have no problem with Frogslicer, but, and the but was like, this is, blah blah blah, not good, So there's so many like fake insults hurled at me, like Frogslicer, he's a really nice guy playing the most degenerate deck in the world. I think that stuff's so funny.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Kind of
like
based,
Keegan
honestly.
really likes the deck and likes creativity, but just completely hates what it does to him as a tournament organizer.
There's only so many original ideas, right, Carpath? No comment.
I would dispute that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so this one it's really unfortunate because I believe this is one of the easiest matchups for me. This is Ancient Gear. And soft Duplock basically hard counters this deck. And I don't think I got to do it once. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I got to go second. So my hand isn't particularly good, but
that's not good.
His hand, it's just like if he went first, it's not that I would have like blown him out. It's just that he wouldn't have gotten an extra 1800 of damage in, because he's just able to like do the double Machina Fortress thing and just blow me out. So this is like just a tragedy of a game. I could have set the Subsitoad and like hoped he was going to attack with the Gear Frame, but I think ultimately he attacked with the Fortress anyway, so it didn't really matter. And he just blows me out, just because he has more cards and just attacks for this much damage. So that's a really fun way to lose my first game in the final round. That's actually happened to me a lot. I kind of share a lot of people's sentiment where like Ancient Gear is better. Has a lot of cool things to do, but like just the Machina engine with gadgets, or even with Ancient Gear, it's like it's so high rolly. I'm not really one to talk because of my deck, but like a lot of the time you're just normal summon stuff until you have, magically you have like 8,000 damage or 7,000 damage or something. You just slam it down and hope it works. But yeah, my hand is incredible.
Sometimes all you need for the gadget's just a steady enough stream of discards for the 2k beaters.
Exactly.
And there's not really a whole lot that'll, some of the other like combo decks can really do in the face of that.
Yeah. But I'm feeling real good with this one for one. It's not crazy. I don't think I get to do anything like super incredible. And I guess I do get to do a soft Duplock here. Or maybe I messed it up somehow. Or I just fully combo. I think I just flat out win this game. That's what happens. I don't remember. So this is a little bit of a misplay because this could have been a Swap Frog, and I had a Fishborg in here. I forgot I had 2 Fishborgs. So I end up shuffling one away. And that could have maybe made a difference. But I'm not sure if it does. Salvage is nice. You really need that +1 here. Yeah, but I only have one more draw. And Murray's nice. So we keep going. I think I just got full combo here. I might have to use all the Exodiuses, which never really feels that good, but I'm also like a little on the fence because like the regular Stardust play is incredible, but like Stardust is like terrible against Fortress. So I'm not entirely sure how many specific outs this deck has to breaking like 2 dupes and a Subsitoad, but if they could, then they could just ram into my Stardust and mess everything up. Okay, yeah, we're cruising now. I'm pretty sure I have to use this last Exodius though.
I think the only way you can break a dupe plus sub lock with Ancient Gear is like Brain Control plus Book of Moon, or Brain Control plus any discard trap if they might run it, or a Vortex if they choose to decide it.
That's exactly
which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, so we just make a Stardust, and then we make Duplock, and I keep the Exodius so I can go in for the next turn. I get to bluff one, which is nice, but it doesn't matter. I don't think he breaks this in any way. I think I'm just cruising, so I just get to go infinite. So this is one where I tell him. So I use up my battle phase here to get rid of his dude, and then get rid of one of the back row, which they're both bluffs. That's really funny. So this is kind of an unfortunate consequence of this deck. I have infinite. In theory, I could just go and just swing out, and there's probably a way to do it. My brain just isn't working right for the most part. What I typically do is I just make the Unifrog and poke, and then main phase two go for it. But yeah, so I just kind of explained to him, like, hey, this is infinite. And he says, yeah, I know. But then he says, where are you getting your card advantage from? All your Thunder Dragons are gone. And I just say, like, they're all going to go in the deck, and I'm going to do the infinite draw loop. But instead of doing +1 every turn, I do +0 every turn until I draw a Thunder Dragon. So he'll show me. So he says, please doing it. I'm like, sure, no problem.
Yeah. So this was the second guy to tell you to demonstrate a loop?
Yeah. Yeah, and he gives me a wait because he this actually wastes a little bit of time because he didn't really I didn't quite understand what he was asking me. Because I was like, yeah, no, it's the Iron Wall, that's why I can bounce it. He's like, no, like, didn't you already use Swap's effect this turn? And I hadn't, but it's easy to think I could have because I summoned Swap to send a dupe frog to add a card to my hand. So it kind of seems like, oh, did you bounce the dupe or something? But I didn't.
Yeah, can't you use the bounce effect of Swap multiple times but only summon once, or is it only Swap can bounce once?
No, you can bounce once.
It's a soft once per turn.
Yeah, so as long as you have a new swap, you can return every time.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, so the same swap can only activate the effect once, and then you have to kill it and get another one. But you can always do it because Exodus puts them all back.
Yeah, yes, sometimes that comes up in more conventional builds that use frogs, like a hero frog or the fish OTK, which is basically like, like Blackwing's comparison to the Gottoms frog loops.
Just that fish OTK is a worse version of Gottoms frogs, if we are being completely honest here.
Yeah, that's my opinion for sure. Like, people can hate on this all they want, but I think this is just strictly better. Like, especially, like, one thing that really bothered me, and I'm glad that frogs didn't do particularly well in this ribbit, but one thing that bothers me is for people to simultaneously have hate for this deck and then play decks where if I had that exact opening hand, I would just win. Like, Frog Monarchs is an incredible deck. Like, Rognak's deck is incredible. But, like, it bothers me when someone makes Fish OTK and they get Substitute +1 monster and don't instantly win when I would have, It's just, this is obviously more complicated, and there's a lot of things.
But... Yes, which is the reason why I made my comment earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's less that, Fish OTK is a better deck, but more just, sitting on a dupe block until you draw a double tribute monster is a bit more standard than going on these, like, huge, like, Substitute chains and Exodius send back everything to draw more card stuff.
So one really fishy thing about what I was doing here is I summon Exodius to do the infinite loop. I send back everything. So that's like, that takes time in DB. And then because I actually got my combo early enough, I had to stop at a certain point. My deck has like 10 spells in it. So my normal strategy of, well, I can send back all the Thunder Dragons and dig. Normally, there's only a Plague and 2 Fishborgs in there with 3 Thunder Dragons. So when I do this like pseudo infinite, when I do this actual infinite loop, but I'm not getting +1s, there's a 50-50 chance every time I do it, I'm going to draw Thunder Dragon. But here, it's more like a 1 in 10 chance, and I have to do that. I have to manually send every frog back, and then send them all from the deck to the grave, and then do it. I'm like, you can see why this is annoying, and he understood. He's like, okay, I get it. What did he say? He's like, okay, I understand. How do you make Gottoms? And then I just say Plague or Bellum, blah, blah, blah. Which, Plague is literally only in here to make Gottoms with an Urbellum. And then he said, lol. And I just said, he had a face down, so I said, before I do that, I'll Bryo bounce your face down with my infinite cards, and then I'll pitch them all. So he said, okay, let's assume that we did that. Do you mind if I check what my top deck is after we do everything? So I don't know if this is technically legal or not. But it's like,
I do not believe it is.
But it's like a pseudo scoop,
Well,
so it's like, hey,
you could just
I'm showing you the
full infinite combo and then like not concede,
Exactly. So it's like, hey, maybe your top deck could work, but I know that there's basically no cards in his deck, or maybe even in the game, that can answer sufficiently. Because there's plenty of things that break the board, but it doesn't win you the game. Like a Lava Golem doesn't win you the game. So it's like, yeah, top deck, because that's the whole point. Is I don't have faith in your top decks, but let's see what I actually drew. because I haven't seen. It's a gear frame.
Yeah, gear frame. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah. So, like, even if he could have gotten a level 8 and pitched for Fortress, that doesn't do anything. So. Okay, so this, like I said, this is a good matchup for me, in my opinion. I don't know if he has anything in side deck that even matters against me. But
Book of Moon
this,
is probably the best card.
yeah, and this only
May
buys you a
have.
turn. So he can
Yeah,
turn those turns into damage.
I'm not really that used to Mac and a gadget, but is this hand really good for him too?
It's
This
normal.
is amazing hand.
It's
This
amazing
is
against
amazing
me.
hand.
Yeah, because he gets a Gajiltron. He gets his Gajiltron Dragon, and he gets to summon a Fortress. So it's extremely aggro, and he has interaction. You're right, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to place at normal speed for the drama. Actually, probably not. Next place. He's thinking it through, but really we know exactly what he's going to do. So he does nothing. And here's what's so messed up about mine. I have these Murrays of Greed. I have this Murray Grade, and I definitely want to put these poison draws away.
Oh no.
So first I'm going to Thunder Dragon to make sure my draws are stronger, right? I don't want to draw 2 Thunder Dragons. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know what I'm pretending to think about or just buying time or something. But so I decide to Murray of Greed, these 2 poison draws. I do shuffle. Look at that. That's a shuffle.
All right. 1.
Ooh. Oh. Oh my goodness.
my God.
So this is why I lost Ribbit 3.
Backbreaking.
Who knows how far I would have gotten. If I could have made a soft dupe block, he could have booked it. Okay, but he wouldn't have OTK'd me. If I could have made a hard dupe block, he couldn't have done anything. This complete walls everything he has, because he would have been able to book one thing, and then I would have the substitute to protect the other.
Gotta shuffle twice. Or at least 3 times.
Wow.
So I don't know exactly what the math is behind this, but like I lost a 1 in 35, and then a 1 in 34, and then a 1 in 33.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
multiplied. Then you
technically
know.
it's 3 and 35, 2 and 34, 1 and 33.
Right. So that sucks.
Pretty
And
slim.
Cannot believe that happened.
so here's what I do. Obviously, I'm going to summon one because that really paid off in an earlier match. And he just happens to have a really explosive response. So this is okay. Like, I really have faith in this play because it's so hard. I know from doing my math, it's so hard to get like a legit OTK out of nothing. He had 7 cards to work with, so that's not nothing. I guess 8 with the gear frame. But yeah, it's just this deck can just crank out damage like no tomorrow. And he doesn't do it here. Oh, I thought that's next turn. So I do get a turn. So it ended up working out okay. And I remember being so thankful. I was like, man, I'm so glad he didn't blow me up. And who cares what these back row are as long as I can get something established. And then I drew this Murray of Greed. I was like, holy cow, I got bailed out. But
It's
like,
really
even after
odd
all
to me
that.
too.
You did shuffle twice then.
If you go the gut children here, it would turn off a potential brain con, so it is a mistake. And they still do not respect the potential gores, because they run over with the gear frame and then attack directly with the fortress. But you should do it the other way around.
Yeah, I think he
Play
just
around
wanted to use
gores
his
more.
torrential. He wanted his torrential and book to be live. I think that was the only thing he was trying to do.
Maybe.
And yeah, I mean, if I didn't have so much faith in this matchup, which I do, then maybe I would have Sidras. But I think Sidras and Frogs just because of Treeborn. And then my deck, it's even weirder because it's just going to be a dead card so much. Also, monsters are really weird to side in because I'm doing Exodius and they're like duds. They get in the way so much.
I'm not even going to tell you the numbers I just crunched for the likelihood of drawing 3 poison draw from Moray.
Is it really, really, really bad?
Like,
My guess was 1 in 100,000. Is it lower than that?
it's not that bad,
Uh-huh.
but it is like 1 in like 1,000.
That's crazy. So I was 100 times off because that's how salty I was about it. But the
Yeah.
Murray did kind of bail me out, and unfortunately, I drew another Murray, and I have to.
It doesn't sound right, actually.
It does. Well,
I
it's
feel
not
it
like
could be way lower.
it's not like specific Morays because it's like a 3
Any
and
of them.
35 to draw
Yeah.
1, 2 and 35 to draw the second, and 1 and 33 to draw the third.
I just love how we're doing this math right now.
Hold on, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Do it away, Carpath. One of you guys is in school for math.
So I had to use 3 Murrays this game. This card has been a travesty for me. So this has been carrying me all tournament, in my opinion. I've been doing a lot of cool stuff with Murray. But if you can't get stuff in the grave, like, you just draw garbage. So, like, Pot of Avarice, Exodius, Pot of Avarice, Salvage, all these cards are so good at getting me going. But all I needed was, what, just, like, a Swap Frog or a Substitute. And I got so many chances and just, couldn't get there. And that happens sometimes, but ideally it happens. Ideally, you can do, like, something half-ass against a deck like this.
This is 1 in 10,000. I think.
It is?
I think you might have just made a
right.
counting 0 there.
We're quickly getting close to my 1 in 100K.
All right.
It's anywhere between 1 and bullshit.
It's like 1.5 in 10,000, according to my math.
That's crazy.
E minus 4 would be 10,000 or 1,000.
That's
Well, hey, you guys also have to add the
1,000. Minus 3 is 1,000. Sorry.
you also have to add the me losing RPS, so that multiplies by 3.
Fascinating. Well,
no.
nailing a 1 in 10,000 chance to brick always sucks.
Which wouldn't have mattered if I had 1 RPS, but there you go.
I think
So here, this
a
is
little
like
bit.
the dumbest thing I did.
What is this?
I summoned because I knew I had nothing. I was like, okay,
Hard
maybe
time
I can.
frog.
It's like he won't be able to special summon his Machina Gear Frame. He'll get everything back, but maybe it doesn't matter. I'm gonna summon this Death Frog to tank damage, and maybe this will buy me another turn, and maybe I'll get a Substode and can make anything happen. Because I had so much faith in just getting like a dupe block.
What is in your grave?
But yeah, so what's in my grave?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh.
I just Exodius'd everything.
Yeah.
So I basically needed a Swap Frog or a Substode. So yeah, it was not looking good. And then yeah, so I'm like, okay, if this is all he can do, then I'm fine. But yeah, you could do more. So that was it. And I pretend like I had something for nothing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what he's doing over here, but so it's just a travesty. Oh man, I totally missed that. Dang. Yeah, because I definitely would have said something to that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a good run. Yes, I'm extremely exhausted, and absolutely it takes an insane amount of practice. So if you're seeing
There's
this
an entire
column,
YouTube channel dedicated to it.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, that was pretty rotten luck, and I mean, to be fair, like I had some really smooth draws, and I really feel like the ways I've improved in this deck are so small, but like it's just so rare that I start drawing through the whole deck and just completely brick, and then I definitely think there's going to be more coming out of this deck, and it should be way less likely in the future that I lose round 1 and hold up the entire tournament. So if anyone is watching this, advocate for me not holding up the tournament by scooping me game 1. I don't know.
What you gotta do is grind ranked and
Just
get
auto scoop.
I mean, it's
you
not that.
demonstrated you're gonna win multiple games.
Wasn't
in
really
a
that
row,
difficult.
So
Yeah, I'm definitely able to win the games, and I think this deck is super capable of winning matches I don't deserve to win, and that's the most important thing. Like that Glad's game, that's a perfect example of how you can just steal games you do not deserve, and all you need is that luck at the right time.
I mean, even with the decks that ended up topping the tournament, I think all of them have a propensity of just being able to sweep a 1 game right out from under your opponent.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's
what
it
we
for.
all-
What do you say, Ayers?
Yeah, what we all found out today is whack-a-mole is the way to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's funny.
Uh,
But yeah, so that's it for my Ribbit run. Even though I just barely made top 32, so I've done about the same or maybe even slightly worse every Ribbit. I've consistently gotten almost top every single time, so I'm proud of that. And I'm particularly proud of this run because I think there's a lot of really interesting moments that happened. I'm really glad you guys were here to do this with me, and I'm really thankful to have gotten the Crows practice in.
thank you for having us.
what did you think of your side deck this time? Because you were
So-
talking a bit about your side deck before the tournament.
Yeah, I spent way more time thinking about it than actually doing anything with it. I did settle on the original plan of basically not deviating. So all the new fancy stuff I put in, like Breaker, those
Yeah.
only come in if I lose game 1 and in a match where I basically completely give up combo. So, like, if I'm bringing in like multiple decrees, I'm going to bring in heavy, Trunade, decree, MST, 2 breakers. I'm going to bring it all in. And then just kind of grind it out, and hopefully like a Goyle will get there under a decree or something, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I stuck to the regular plan where I really like thinking of like Frog as an upstart goblin. So I'm a lot bigger on siding out the upstarts than I was before. So I'll side out the original plan. This is in one of my videos. The original plan is you side out 1 plague, 1 iron wall, and you bring in a Beezle Frog and a Death Frog. So in my opinion, that makes you more. It makes it more consistent because you basically get upstarts in the form of frogs. Because when you do your combo, they're not going to get in your way. You draw more gas, and you're a lot less vulnerable to bottomless trap hole randomly getting you at the end if you decide to go for something without Trunade or heavy. And then because you're taking out 2 bricks, you can take out upstarts for like bricks in quotes that are just like god tier cards. So I usually bring in heavy and brainstorm because I know brain control because I know I'm going second. So I still have faith in that, and that completely concedes infinite. But you don't need infinite, you just need a combo. And I know that as long as I draw through my deck as if it was the infinite combo, if the board state's correct, then I can go for a lethal with Gore's protection or just a colossal armory arm. So you find ways to get there, and you have more relevant cards in your deck, so you're ready for more things. But yeah, like I did not do all the fancy stuff for the most part. Basically, like 3 or 4 cards came in every time, and I didn't really deviate from that very much.
You were talking a bit about, I think it was like autonomous action unit for frogs.
Yeah, I have 2 autonomous action unit in this side deck. I was expecting to run into more frog decks. I ran into 0.
I think we all were expecting to find more frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I would have. Yeah.
You didn't find any. I didn't find any. Did you 3 find any?
I didn't play against frogs the whole tournament.
Me either.
That's funny.
Garpath?
No, I did not.
So
Nothing.
yeah, like the plan was it would be a combo enabler. So if they had a Regeki break or something to stop me, but they had set up already, then I would have stolen their Substitute and combo. That would have been the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So, frog players in the future, watch out. But it probably won't happen. I probably take it on my side. So. But yeah, this one's getting a little long, so I'll go ahead and end it here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for coming out. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop it.